Hi there. Welcome to Pallet University. If you're like me and you grew up in the late 90s to early 2000s, you probably saw a lot of Pokemon merchandise basically everywhere when you were a kid. But the place that I specifically remember it being a lot was at fast food restaurants. Specifically, Burger King. And I've actually talked a little bit about some of the old Pokemon stuff that I have from when I was a kid, that I got when I was a kid and kept the whole time, that I got from one of these like Burger King kids meal type things in this video back a couple months ago. In that video, I also talk a little bit about Facebook Marketplace and how I had incredible luck in that video anyway, because I found a genuine copy of Soul Silver for, I think I paid $5 for it, $5 or $10, I don't remember. But I offered to pay the person more because it was obvious they didn't know how rare this was. But they were like, my son never plays it anymore. I'm like, oh, okay, I offered. So I had very good luck on Facebook Marketplace that day. I had very bad luck on Facebook Marketplace in this video, where I mistakenly bought some counterfeit copies of Pokemon Leaf Green and Fire Red. So basically at this point, Facebook Marketplace was batting 500. You know, it was one win, one loss. So I decided, let's try it again. This time not for games, but for some of those things from Burger King from when I was a kid. Now, I bought these before I found out that I was getting laid off from my job, and by the time I found out, they were already in the mail, and I'm like, well, I'm not going to send them back. I already paid for them, so I might as well have them. So today, just as a fun extra video, I'm going to, take you through some of the things that I bought through Facebook Marketplace. If you're not subscribed yet, make sure to hit that button down below as well as the like button. And let me know, if you're roughly the same age as I am, what Pokemon toys do you remember from, these Burger King type giveaways? Or even if you're a little, on the younger side compared to me, what Pokemon toys do you remember from when you were a kid? Anyway, so I ordered basically like 3 different batches of things. So I'll start with the smaller one. So the first batch that I bought was actually only containing 4 different things. So the first one was this Tangela top. So if you remember in that video where I talked about all the stuff that I had from when I was a kid, I talked about the Clefairy top, and you can actually see it back right there, sitting on my shelf. So yeah, it's basically you spin it like against a table or something, and then you let it go, and it spins. The top on the inside sort of like moves around, and then sort of catches on the outside and spins the Pokemon. So that's how these work. So they contained 1 Tangela, which I had when I was a kid, and then at some point got rid of. A Magnemite, which I think is super cute because, most of them look pretty accurate to what their Pokemon actually is, like proportion-wise, but the Magnemite just doesn't. The Magnemite is very, the magnets are very small, and the, screws on the bottom are way too big. And they're also movable. The screw on the top moves, and the magnets, you can spin them as well. And just because it's almost perfectly round, it spins so much better as a top. It just works so much better as a top than the Tangela or that Clefairy does. So like I said, those were part of kids' meals at Burger King, and so was this. This is a Kabuto, which is actually a little bath toy, more or less. It's got a little hole. I don't know how well you'll be able to see it. A little hole in the front that is you fill it up with water, it squirts water. That's basically what they did with all water types, and we'll see in the next batch of things that there's actually a couple more of these that I bought because I thought they looked cool. But I love Kabuto. Kabuto is one of my favorite Pokemon, mostly because it's a fossil Pokemon. I also have a Kabuto plush back there as well. And I love this little guy, he's very cute. Although I kind of wished that they had the water come out between its eyes, which is where I would think its mouth would be. But forward, I guess, makes much more sense to be a bath toy. And lastly, in this batch was not actually something from Burger King. This is, I think, just some toys that they sold that I had several of that I no longer have, and I'm very sad because I loved them, which were these little Pokeballs that were spring-loaded. Unfortunately, the spring in this one is broken. I'll probably have to look into getting that fixed, but it's got a little hole in the side for a keychain. And on the inside of this one, you would find various little Pokemon that would sort of sit on that little spike in there. And this one is Psyduck. I don't think I had Psyduck as a kid, The one that I remember having the most is Dragonite, and I played with that thing so much. I loved that thing, and it was cool because like if you threw them right, obviously it was probably not great for the Pokeball, but if you threw it right, you could actually get it to hit the button and open up like a real Pokeball. And that's what I loved doing as a kid, which is probably the reason why I don't have them anymore, because they probably broke, realistically. But this was the only one that I saw really available in any of like the lots that I found, and so I bought it. The next lot contained a lot more, but like price-wise was way better. So that one only had 4 things. The next lot contained, I think, 13 things. So like the last one, it did contain a top, which is Jigglypuff. It's got a bunch of scuff marks on the back, but I mean, it's a top. You're going to spin it around and do stuff. So like, I get it. Plus, it's also 21 years old at this point, so I don't really blame them for having it scuffed up. Mine is definitely scuffed up. It was very cute. I thought it would go well with the Jigglypuff, like, gold-plated card that I also got from Burger King that was actually mine when I was a kid. Like the Kabuto, there's a Poliwrath Squirter, where it's another one where I wish they would have placed the like squirty part in a different spot. It's like right below its nose. I think it really should have been inside the swirl. I think that would have made a lot more sense. Plus, I'm pretty sure that's where it does it in the anime as well. At least I'm pretty sure Misty had a Poliwag at some point. And I think that's where it used Water Gun from and everything. And then another Squirter is Seadra, and this one's actually cool because it comes out of its like little nose thing. This one's not very good though, it doesn't work very well, but it's still cool. This lot also came with some duplicates, and so even with that, I bought it because I wanted the other things, but it came with another Clefairy, which I'll probably just keep around, I'll keep it somewhere, and then it came with 2 of these little Mew little action figure things. So they have like a movable tail. They have this switch on the back of its head that I don't know what it's for. It doesn't seem to do anything on either of them. And then you can also move its feet back and forth. I think this was a pretty popular like line of figures as well. But these are the only ones that I managed to get from it. But they are very cute. Mew is a very cute Pokemon. There was also a line of like spring-loaded launcher type things with wheels on the bottom of them, and one that I got is Arcanine. It has wheels on the bottom. Unfortunately, it did not come with like the actual launcher, but basically there's a spring on the inside of Arcanine's butt, and you would like load it into something, and you like push a button on it, and it would like release the latch that was holding Arcanine on there, and it would spring forward, and it would just shoot Arcanine across like the table or something. There were quite a few of these. Like I know there was a Lapras one, a Rapidash one, and several others, but I don't know off the top of my head what they were. I think I had the Lapras one as a kid, but no longer obviously do. And I would really like to just get the launcher thing for it, just so I have, you know, the complete thing instead of just half of it. But we'll see. And lastly for this lot is actually the main reason that I bought this lot was because it had some of the little plushes that came from Burger King. Namely, this one. I remember having this one as a kid, and I like that Dragonite in the Pokeball. I played with this thing so much. I loved this little Snorlax. It's just so cute. You know, even the way its like head is sewn is that it's like looking over its own stomach and it's like waving at you. I thought it was very cute, and this alone, like if I had gotten half the stuff and paid the same price as long as I got this, I would have been totally happy. But it did also come with some others. So this line of like little plushes through Burger King has something in common, that they all have like a weird little like felt piece on them. So for the Snorlax, it was like its nails or its claws. I also had this Togepi when I was a kid. This Togepi's feet are like made out of felt. It's basically just like a little beanbag. It's basically a hacky sack, realistically. It's just like a tube of like, I don't know, polyfill probably, or whatever's on the inside, with some spikes on it. But it's Togepi. It's very cute. Some of the ones that I had never seen before, but I was like, those still look pretty cool, are this Meowth, where the whiskers are made out of felt. Its feet are also just, they're not made out of felt, but they're just weird. You know, they're just like, its entire leg is just like straight. Then you probably just saw the other two. But the Golbat, like classic old school Golbat, and like its wings and teeth and feet are made out of felt. It was basically just like the little nub of Golbat's body, and then the rest of it's just felt. But it's very cool. I'd never seen it before. I really liked it. And then this one. This one just makes me laugh, where it's just oddish. Where all the leaves are made out of felt. And unfortunately, they all have had the tags cut off. I would have preferred if they had the tags still on them, but beggars can't be choosers. And then the final thing in this lot is definitely not from 1999. Everything else is from either like 1999 or 2000. But this one definitely is not, and I don't know why it's in this lot, but it was. This little Piplup. Which very clearly, you know, from Gen 4, not from 1999. But it has the tag cut off in the same way. But the only thing that seems to be filled in it is the head. The body is just this little, like, not filled at all, little nub of a body. But it's still very cute, and it's going on the shelf with everything else. Now, this last thing that I bought was definitely the most expensive, especially considering it's just a single thing. But I saw it, and I had never seen it before. I saw it on Facebook Marketplace, and I'd been wanting to get into some modding of older consoles. And I saw this one, which needs a little care, but it's like a Pokemon Special console, and I was like, that's a really cool candidate for it. It is a Japan-only mint green Celebi Game Boy Advance. It's got the two little Celebis down there next to Game Boy Advance. And this was released in, I think, only Japan. So I have no idea how the person that I bought it from came to have it in their possession, but they were selling it for rather inexpensively. And as you could see, the screen is not in the best shape. It's pretty like worn out in the way that LCD screens tend to do. It's also missing the battery cover and some of the like. I think it's actually just painted that mint color. I don't think the plastic is actually that color, and it's starting to wear in some places where you would typically hold a Game Boy Advance. But for the price that he was selling it at, I looked on eBay, and they're usually 3 to 4 times the price that I bought it for. So I'm like, you know what? I might as well. Like I said, I've been considering getting into some like retro console modding, such as like adding like backlit screens to things like Game Boy Colors, because I have an old school Game Boy Color that, I don't know, I like playing stuff on the original hardware, and it's a lot easier when you don't have to sit under a light to do it. So I'm not positive if I will mod this yet, just because it is such kind of a rare piece that I don't know if I would want to. But now that I have this one, I can definitely mod my original one, my Game Boy Advance that I've had for 20 years at this point, probably a little less, like 19 to 18 years. But I'll definitely be modding that one now that I have this one. But yeah, so with that, let me know some of your favorite Pokemon things that you have laying around, whether it's cool, unique Pokemon consoles, whether it's Pokemon toys and things from when you were a kid. Let me know. Tag me in some pictures of them on Twitter at Pallet_U. Also make sure to follow me while you're there to keep up on all things Pokemon science. And as always, there's a time and place for everything.